Hey guys, hey, welcome to the kitchen today. Adeline and Grammy are cooking up a storm and Crafters in the kitchen today. And I put the camera over here so we could both say hi to you at the same time. And she is in her favorite kitchen spot where she hangs out with me when I'm cooking and she's here. So come on in and join us. I am gonna step back over here to the other side where we can work. Hey, Miss Cheryl, how are you? But I knew you guys would want to say hey to Miss Adeline, so we had to start over there, right? But I'm going to try to keep her right up there in that corner for you. She has been sleepy today, so she has been awake all of about 15 minutes after a long afternoon nap, so we're gonna hope she doesn't get too hungry in our time together. Hey, Miss Terry, hey friends, come on in. We are making one of my very favorite easy treats, and something that I make really quite a bit because it bothers me. I can't, there. I make them a lot because they're fast and they're easy, and it makes just enough for us to have a quick dessert with our dinner, and then we're done. And it's adaptable to any limits of your imagination. So I'm gonna share just the basic cake mix cookie recipe. Hey guys, hey, come in. And then we're gonna talk about how you can fix them up any way that you like. So if you saw my preview post, you saw the buffet of toppings and things that we have, and really the sky's the limit with whatever flavors that you like. So I had planned to be further ahead, but Miss had other plans today, so we're just going to start from the beginning with each other. All right, all the business out of the way. I'm Cheryl, Mama P with Mama P's Crafty Creations. We cook, we craft, we chat, and we build community, and we welcome you to come be a part of that on our page anytime, anytime. After me is Christy at My Artful Adventures. Thank you, Debbie, and she is always fun and exciting in the kitchen. You will hear dogs in the background. There's just no telling what will happen when you're here with me at Mama P's house, because this is just life, and we live it while we're doing everything else, right? We're just living life. All right, so you need 3 ingredients to make cake mix cookies. Okay, 3 ingredients. And I bet you have them if you're like me. I've always got some cake mix in my cabinet. I just do. Aren't they so good? So you need a cake mix. You need any flavor, any brand, any way that you like it. Today I'm going to make 3 different ones. I've got this white cake mix, I've got a devil's food cake mix, and I have a butter pecan cake mix. And they're already open. I also have lemon and strawberry cake mixes, and they work fantastic as well. She is a beauty, I'm telling you. She is. Look at that. Look at that doll baby up there. You make yours sugar-free. That's interesting. That's an awesome thought. I have more trouble with artificial sweeteners, hey Jenny, than I do with real sugar. So I eat little bits, but of the real stuff. Thank you. I'm wearing my uniform today. Miss Sue, I did not know you had a crafting page until earlier today. I hunted you down and followed you. You feel free to link it, mention it, come back on as your page. All right, we want to follow you too. Okay, so you need a cake mix. We're going to start with the white one because I used to bake cakes, and I'm just going to tell you a trick. If you work from lightest color to darkest color, you don't have to wash stuff in between. So our order today is going to be white cake, butter pecan cake, and devil's food, and we won't even have to wash the bowl in between. How is that for convenient? Hey guys! So your whole cake mix goes in a bowl. You don't need a big bowl because you're not going to make a whole lot. I use a big cookie scoop. It is a kitchen one, and it should have a letter or a number on it somewhere. But I use a pretty good size one. All right, so you just dump your cake mix. I'm going to tilt you down. Say goodbye to the baby for a minute. And You just dump your cake mix in here. Then you need 1/2 cup of oil, or you can substitute butter if you want to, but these are not my gourmet desserts. These are my quick and easy dessert, and I'm not wasting a whole stick of butter. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Isn't she beautiful? Yeah, and she's hanging out happy. We got fingers crossed. So we need 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. Okay, 1/2 cup right into the mix. I'm not even going to put the lid on because we're going to be right back into it. Okay, and then you need 2 eggs. And most of the time I would put my 1/2 cup of oil and my 2 eggs into a measuring cup, and I would kind of beat my eggs up a little bit just to help things along. So if I remember that next time, we'll get it. Doesn't she have the cutest little rolly legs? She was so little when she got started here, we didn't know if she'd ever have those adorable baby rolls, but she's caught on. Hey, Kathy. A baker's tip as well, not just for this recipe, but for any recipe. If you're gonna bake with eggs, they will do much better if they're room temperature. As a matter of fact, all of your ingredients when you're baking would prefer that they be room temperature. So if my recipe calls for milk, I set it out and let it come to room temperature. Okay, so this is our basic mix, and we don't even need a mixer. It's a cookie dough, and we just want to combine this like you would a cornbread mix or some instant bread mix. Okay? I know we have to have options with my silly camera. Let's see a minute. You guys will be patient, right, if we make some adjustments. There. Now you can see the bowl and the baby. How's that? So we just want to stir this all together until all of the dry cake mix is moistened. Okay? Now, these being a white cake mix, if we baked them from right here, would be very similar to a sugar cookie. Okay? And you'd be happy with that. They're really good just this way. But what makes these cookies so much fun is that you can add up to 1 cup of anything to these. Okay? So the only question that you really have to answer is, what do you want to put in them? Hey, Tanya, it's good to see you. And you can do, your imagination is the only limitation. Hey, Lydia, it's good to see you. So I have some coconut pulled out today. I have peanut butter chips. I have Reese's peanut butter cups. I have peanut butter. I have oatmeal. I have pecans. I have walnuts. I have butterscotch chips. Whatever you might have. Oh my gosh, homemade ravioli sounds delicious. Mine always comes apart, and I have dumplings and meatballs, but that's another show. Okay, so you just have to decide what would you like to add to your white cake mix to get the flavor that you like. Now, I will tell you, at my house, we love an oatmeal cookie. Any cookie, in our opinion, is better with oatmeal. So I'm gonna go with about 1/2 cup of oats, and I'm using quick oats. Normally, if you were baking with your oats, you would use the rolled kind or the slow cooking kind, right? But in this instance, we're just mixing them up and throwing them in the oven. Okay, so that's 1/2 cup. I still have 1/2 cup of choices to make. Do I want chocolate chips, butterscotch chips? Do I want nuts? What do I want? And the answer for me is always nuts. And my favorite nuts are pecans. And I always have a bag of pecans and walnuts and almonds and sometimes other nuts in my freezer. They will keep in your freezer a long time, and we don't eat them all. It is baby day. I thought that too. So this is my handy dandy Tupperware food chopper. I am a Tupperware lady, and I have always been a big Tupperware fan, and this is probably my most used Tupperware apparatus. It has a little mini cup and it has this large cup, and it's going to be really loud, so I'm just going to warn you. And you just give it a pull and get whatever you want to chop down to whatever size you want. Okay, so I did 13. Hey, Linda, it's good to see you. Hey, Angela. I did about 13 pulls, and my pecan halves are now crumbles. Okay? And I'm going to take another half a cup of pecans. Okay, so that is, and I'm going to save these because you know I'm going to visit them again. That is my 1 cup of additives. That chopper, by far, no, the can opener from Tupperware and the chopper from Tupperware and the bowls that have these thumb holes in them are my favorite Tupperware items. I use them all the time, Okay, so I have a half a cup of oats and a half a cup of pecans. Now, if I had wanted to add a little chocolate chip or whatever, I would just decrease, right? You can have a cup total. If you go more than that, it changes the consistency too much. So we're just going to take our toppings and get them mixed in. Now, if you all weren't hanging out here with me, let me tell you, I would be whipping off my wedding rings and I would be mixing this with my hands because that's just how I roll. Oats and coconut would be delicious. My favorite thing about cake mix cookies, well, there are two. I have lots of favorite things about cake mix cookies. You know, Kendra, I don't know. I have a link right at the top of my page that takes you right to my Tupperware link, and you can look online. I will tell you that the can opener may look expensive, but I have spent hundreds of dollars on cruddy can openers in my lifetime, and this one will work the rest of your life. Okay, so this is what it looks like, all mixed up. It's a nice, wet, sticky dough, okay? About like that. And you can make this ahead of time and refrigerate it. It will refrigerate just fine. And I always use a scoop whenever I make cookies. I also use the same scoop when I make cupcakes because I know I'm going to get the same amount of dough. Hi, this is my granddaughter. This is Adeline, and she is my house guest 3 days a week. I babysit her for my daughter and son-in-law. So glad you guys get to meet her. I'm glad she's almost always really happy. So today has been a sleepy day for Miss Adeline, and she is getting incredibly interested in food. It is worth every cent. And I would tell you if it wasn't, I don't make a living off of Tupperware. I sell it because I love it and I believe in some of the products so much. So there you go. And I wouldn't be oh, you would be eating the cookie dough? You know, it's really weird to say, but I don't like raw cookie dough. Okay, so we got how many cookies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got 14 nice big cookies, okay? And we can get, they spread a little bit, but not too much. If you wanted to really make these, hang on, I have another cookie sheet right under here. If you really wanted to make these themed, right? If you were really into the whole Halloween, fall, you know, the thing, you could then decorate the tops of these before you bake them. You could put some little, you know, nuts or chocolate chips and make them into pumpkin faces or whatever. Okay, so 2 cookie sheets, just like this, into the oven. I should have moved my oven rack, so just a second. There we go. And they need to bake for 9 to 11 minutes. So I'm just going to set my timer here for 10 minutes. The baby already set my timer for 10 minutes earlier. She loves to play with my watch. Thank you, Diane. She is absolutely the light of my life. I don't know. I Can't imagine it. Okay, so it cleans right out of your bowl because it's a nice wet dough. And while those are in the oven, let's keep it going. Yes, the oven is set at 350. Okay, so mix number 2. Remember, we're going from light color cake mix to dark colored cake mix because then we don't have to clean the bowl. Hey, Mary, she is quiet for the moment. She's not always. She's not always. So, butter pecan is my favorite ice cream, and I dearly, dearly, dearly love butter pecan. It's my favorite ice cream and my favorite cake. Yeah, what cookies bake? We are baking them for 10 minutes at 350, 2 sheet pans. And now we got 15 cookies. She is taking it all in. Tanya, we're being very, very blessed because she's been sleepy today and I was afraid she'd be upset with us. But we're, so far, so good. Okay, so butter pecan. What goes with butter pecan? Well, let's use some more of our pecans. So I've got my measuring cup right here. Oh, before I do that, let me go ahead and mix my oil right in here. What did I do with that measuring cup? We can blame it on the baby today, right? The baby took the measuring cup and now Grammy can't find it. Well, it is a measuring cup I'm putting the things in. Caramel. Oh, Terry, that would be delicious. That would really be good. Except that I have used this measuring cup so much that a lot of the lines are gone. So we're guessing at half a cup. Okay. And now I'm going to crack my 2 eggs right into my measuring cup with my oil. Okay. And get my fork. And I'm just going to break those up a little bit. Just makes the mixing a little bit. She is more opinionated. She was telling us about it. What was that, the day before? Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so there's my half a cup of oil and my 2 eggs going into the mix. Yeah, and we'll mix that up. So I don't know what sounds good with this. You know, I am not a huge butterscotch fan. But I'm leaning toward, I have butterscotch chips here, and I'm leaning toward the butterscotch chips and pecans in here. Doesn't that sound good? Hey, Miss Christy, welcome. Miss Christy is up next. She always has fun in the kitchen. Yeah, she does. Does Adeline have fun in the kitchen? Huh? Okay, so lift this up here and give it a good stir. Like I said, you just need to mix it with a spoon until all of that powder of the mix is incorporated. Okay, just like that. And then we're ready for our 1 cup of added in ingredients. So I'm gonna take, you know how Mama P measures, right? So I'm gonna take my half a cup, that's how I measure, of nuts. I'm gonna get some butterscotch chips. Welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. I hope you will come back often. We love to cook and craft. We chat and we build a pretty good community. We've got some, I've made real friends through this and I never dreamed that would be true. So I've got my half a cup. I think I want, I'm not a huge coconut fan. I always measure with my heart or whatever. Hey, Miss Elizabeth, we have baby day today. We enjoyed yours and now we're enjoying my grandbaby hanging out. Yeah. So I'm just going to go a little short of my half a cup of butterscotch chips. And I'm going to go with a sprinkling of coconuts. Hello. I'm so glad that you guys have found us today. Okay, so this is what it looks like. We've got our coconut, our pecans, and our butterscotch. And we're just gonna combine those in. I love this recipe, and I don't think I've ever made the same twice. I think I've made about every flavor of cake mix that I can find for this, but you know, it depends on the mood and honestly the weather and how I'm feeling about life in general as to what flavor we make. So there we go. Thank you, Lydia. Miss Adeline, they say you're a good baby. Are you a good baby? Yeah. Yeah. She got nothing to say. Nothing to say today. Okay, so I'm going to set this completed mix aside, and then let's just go ahead and get our third option mixed up. And then we'll have all of our mixes made, and in 4.5 minutes, the first batch comes out of the oven. Okay, so this is a Devil's Food cake mix. Wouldn't that be fun? Even online, that would be fun. Because I was laughing at how much Alara enjoyed watching herself on the screen. And Miss Adeline is the same way. If she catches eye of herself in there, she is going to talk to herself. She is going to enjoy it. Okay, here we go. 1/2 cup of oil and 2 eggs. Any cake mix on the planet, any flavor, any brand, anything. A box of cake mix, 1/2 cup of oil, 2 eggs, and a cup, up to a cup. You don't have to do any additions, but up to 1 cup of any additional add-ins that you would like, okay? So, and I know you can't see me. I'm tucked in back here. And my eggshell, man, that chicken had been drinking its milk. It had one hard shell. Okay, and that one's really soft. There you go, 2 eggs and 1/2 cup of oil. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. You know, I have terrible hands. I have very weak hands, and they hurt. The saving grace in these cake mix cookies is that there's not very much batter. So it's a little bit heavy, but it's very little mix. And so it's not too bad. You could use a mixer. I just don't want to clean it. So 1/2 cup of oil, 2 eggs worked into our cake mix. This is what I meant about these handles. Tupperware makes them all the way. This is a fairly small one. I have one that holds 32 cups. And it works really well because this is made for your thumb. And so when you're mixing, even if I have that big 32 cupper, I can get a grip on it. Okay? All right. Yeah. Does it smell good? Huh? Is it smelling good, Miss Adeline? Yeah. She's gonna have to eat her fingers, y'all. She's starving. Okay, so there is. Yeah, most people don't know. It just looks like part of the plan, but that is exactly what those were created for. And if you have arm weakness or hand soreness or any kind of arthritis, this makes the world of difference to me. You have an old bowl? Yeah, they still make them. Does it seem to change? Now, I told you, if you all weren't here watching with me, I would be sticking my hands down in here. So you can mix it any way you want. Okay, there is the chocolate. Now, I have this little bitty bag of Reese's peanut butter cups. I didn't even open it to see how many, but not very many. There's 8. So I think we will put half of one of these in the top of each of our cookies, okay, in the chocolate cookies. So that will do when we put them out. So let's add some peanut butter chips into this one. And then what? Some nuts? We could add peanut butter. You can add, yeah, it does hold on to your spoon. I forget about that, Missy. You can add peanut butter as well, but we're gonna go with peanut butter chips. My famous little 1/2 cup. Yeah, peanut butter chips sound good. And then just whatever else sounds good to you, okay? I always love nuts, so that's always where I lean. And we are having peanut butter. But let's do some dark chocolate chips. And let's go a super dark chocolate cookie. A super chocolatey cookie with a peanut butter cup on the top for this one. Okay, so I'm going to just go, ooh, salted peanuts. Yes. So I'm going half a cup of the 2 kinds of chips. Here is our white cookies. I think they need 1 more minute. That was 10 minutes. Like I said, I make big cookies. I'm not messing around. So while I mix this up, ooh, dark chocolate and coconut. You see that? Hey, Miss Cheryl Kelm, welcome. This is a Cheryl Club. This is a Cheryl Club page. There's a lot of us. Okay, so while we're waiting for the last 2 minutes, let's just mix these chips, yeah, into this dough. She is getting so interested, hey Dina, in food these days. It's hysterical. So I made avocado toast for my breakfast. Not exactly a baby favorite. And she was sitting on the table in that same seat. And every time I'd take a bite, she would lean over the edge of her seat to see what was going on. Okay, so just that easy. I've turned my chips into the dough. Okay? Yes, ma'am. Did you bite your finger? You're not supposed to bite your finger. No, you're not. No, you're not. All right, so I'm just going to open up my Reese's peanut butter cups here. Oh dear, I threw my knife in the sink. That's okay. I have 6 knives. They're all identical and I love them. Okay, so we're just gonna cut our peanut butter cups in half to set on top of the cookies. All right, let me pull these out because they're gonna be ready now. And if I get unwrapping these peanut butter cups, I'll forget. Cherries. Gosh, Sherry, I would not have thought about that. You know, Judy, I am not a fancy cook. I feed a family, right? And I'm usually short on time. And these cookies, so here comes our first batch completely done in 25 minutes, right? So we mixed them up, we baked them, and they're gonna go on to cool. In less than 30 minutes, you can have nice warm cookies. I know that looks like it's close to her, but she cannot get anywhere near to that. Yeah, that seat holds her way back there. Yeah. All right, so I am gonna cut these apart in our time. Hey, Chris, how are you? And let's see. You won't get to be here while I bake the rest, but now that you've seen the process, I hope that you are excited and encouraged to try it. You just need a cake mix, any flavor cake mix. I have a strawberry cake mix here. Can you imagine? They baked for 11 minutes, and I'm making big ones. These are at least a 2 tablespoon scoop, okay? So it would depend between, now she's gonna talk, between 9 and 12 minutes, depending on how big you make them, okay? So you would wanna watch them. If you used a couple of spoons, or if you used a smaller cookie scoop, then they would take a little less time. I do use a great big cookie scoop, and they come out really cakey and wonderful. I think they're about cooled enough now that I can sneak some off the paper and show you before we run out of time. These are the first ones. They were a white cake mix. And we added, for our 1 cup of additions, we added pecans and butterscotch chips. That's what we put in there. All right, so onto a cooling rack. Once they sit for about a minute, you can get them off the rack. They are very soft, and if they want to break, you just need to give them another minute on your pan. Okay, they will firm up, but it takes a minute. It will take a minute for them to get stiff, okay? All right, I'm out of room. My kitchen is about as big as a thumbnail, and I don't have room for 2 pans on the cooling rack. So let me get these off real quick. They have a wonderful consistency because it is a cake mix, so they're going to be a soft, chewy cookie, similar to like a Loft House style cookie. And they're delicious, you guys. They're just so good and so easy. You know I'm all about that because we have got to, we've got family to feed and life to live, right? And I love to make fancy desserts, but on most days that does not get done. Yep, I did. Everything is the same recipe. A cake mix, 2 eggs, 1/2 cup of oil or butter if you're feeling super fancy. And then you mix that together and make your batter. And then you add in whatever you want up to a cup, okay? It'll hold a cup of toppings. Now you can go beyond that cup, and I have before, but they will be a little drier in consistency. Now I've lost my scoop. All right, so let's pan up while we got a couple of minutes here. Oh wow, look at that. That is a hearty cookie dough right there. These are gonna be scrumptious. Let me move that out a little bit. Okay, so these have peanut butter chips and chocolate chips mixed into a fudge cake mix. And then I'm gonna just top each one with 1/2 of a Reese's peanut butter cup. Just gonna tuck it in there and let it bake in. I'm gonna put it peanut butter side up so you know what you're getting. Lemon cake mix. I actually have a lemon cake mix that we pulled out, and I didn't make it today. Delicious with white chocolate chips in the lemon. Okay, these are going in the oven. Look at that. I want you to see it. I'll take pictures when they're done. But they are super quick and super delicious. You do spice cake with pumpkin. Yes, I have made those as well, where you just take your cake mix and a can of pumpkin. All right, guys, my time is up. Miss Christy at My Artful Adventures is on right now, cooking up something in her kitchen. I will see you guys tomorrow. I will send out a warning message, and I'll be posting pictures and notes in the evening time when I get these all baked up. Won't take long, take about 11 minutes per batch, and I've got this batch and one other. Thanks, guys. See you soon.